how my client released the wanting, the needing, the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the desire, the resistance of what she desired with an SP, and accepted everything. And the very next day, she began to see that movement of things that she wasn't even aware of. I want to walk you through how you can do this too. And it's actually very easy to do. And it'll remove you from staring at the very thing. Like, I'm going to use one of my markers as a symbol of what you are desiring. Okay, I want to, whatever it is that you are desiring, whatever it is that you want to manifest for you, I'm going to use this marker, this blue marker, as a symbol for you to just kind of look at, and what I mean by hyper focusing. Okay, so stick with me. You're going to like this video and it's going to be very helpful. That is my intention. Welcome, my name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart's desires so you live a life that you love. And that is what you are here for, to live a life that you love, not of struggle, not of pain, not of wanting, not of needing, but of really living a heart like felt and experienced from the heart life that you love. So if you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you can go to TheRoseyLife.com and see the different ways you can work with me in different time intervals, or you can join the Rosey Life coursing community. I see some of you already posting from the community. Thank you for posting your feedback and your experience so that others can see what it's like in there. I show up every Wednesday to answer questions live, and to do like meditations, and to dive deeper into different areas like stuff on YouTube. We dive deeper, I answer questions, and people apply these things. I give little tips and homework and all kinds of things. It just really changes every week, you guys. And you have the support of a community of like-minded people, right, that help you keep accountable and focused every week if you like that group environment, or you can work one-on-one with me. All right, so let's get to this. So I wanted to make this video because after my session with my client, this was just yesterday, by the way, and I was so excited to meet with her because I just really love seeing people shift out of their stuckness, and because that's something that I saw that I did to myself, and I couldn't see it right away. It took me a minute to see it, but I love helping people like get to mind shift them out of them feeling stuck, because it's not about a technique. It's about you raising your awareness, you raising your level of consciousness of who you are. There is no technique that will ever surpass, no affirmation, no words, nothing that will ever surpass you leveling your awareness of consciousness to that Christ consciousness, to the I am, that who you are within you, because everything is God, as Neville says, as Dr. Joseph Murphy said in many of his lectures, right, as many teachers say, there is nothing but God. So yeah, we can manifest and focus on different techniques and doing different things. However, when you put your awareness on God and who you are, that infinite source of supply that is all around us and in us, when you put your focus on that, everything becomes easy, everything clicks, everything resonates. You start getting things, there's a flow that begins to happen in your life with no effort. And that is why so many teachers says that it's not about effort. It is about being, where is your awareness? There is no right way to do it. I know someone just commented today on a video yesterday saying that there's a lot of, he said that he observes a lot of teachers that say that you have to visualize your desire, otherwise you don't get what you want. and that is a requirement, that it's a must. And I agree with his comment in saying at the end that there are no rules. Don't ever let any coach, any book, any teacher, anyone, including me, tell you, and I don't do that we don't do this here on The Rosey Life. We don't tell you what to do, right? What we're doing here is pointing you back to who you are, right? And that is the aim here. So no, but there are no rules on how we manifest. Some people do amazing with visualizations. Other people don't. Other people just say the word and declare it, and it is there and it is done. That tends to be me. I'm more of a declaration, and I claim it, and then I expect it, and I have that conviction that what I'm saying has to come to pass. But before, I would try to visualize, because I too have learned that you had to learn to visualize, and you had to learn how to do it in the first person, and you can't do it from the place of watching a movie. And then I would get confused, and I would be like, is my right hand holding the pen? But what is my left hand doing? Is it down? Am I sitting? Am I standing? Am I in my new house, or should I be doing it from where I live right now? I was overcomplicating visualization. And if you aren't, I have clients that are really, they love visualizing, and they've been doing it their whole lives, and it's comfortable to them. And then I have other clients who are just like, no, I want to script it. And I have other clients who tell me that, no, I just want to declare it, affirm it, right? It doesn't matter. There's no rule, okay? And here's what I want to say about this, and then I'll move on to the session today. But that when you script, when you affirm something, when you declare something, and I even have a client who draws. She's an artist, and she paints herself receiving money. And that actually works for her, right? So it doesn't matter the technique. The techniques are just to move you into the conviction that this is what you choose, and that you get to choose what you want, and what you choose you get to persist in and then experience. So it doesn't matter if you draw it, if you write it, if you affirm it, if you sing it. I have clients that I've had in the past who sing it. And especially when I worked in LA, and I had different musicians and artists and celebrities that I work with, they sang their songs, and they were successful at their manifestations, and they would come in and share the lyrics of new words that they were writing and share them with me. And they wanted to look them over and make sure that they weren't manifesting something they didn't want. You see, so whatever it is, whatever technique it is, okay, your mind, first of all, understand that before you ask, like I said yesterday, it is already given to you. Before you ask, it is already answered, and it's already given to you. It's already, like I said yesterday, it's under the deck, it's under the porch, it's already waiting for you. You just are asking for it using one of these many techniques. Do you see? So the technique is not the important thing. And that's one thing. And two, one, it's already yours. Two, that when you do any kind of technique, your mind creates images. You are imagining it, right? You are imagining it when you're writing it down. Your mind automatically, it's like when you read a book. If you like reading books, notice how when you read that you begin to have images in different visualizations, right? Or if you're listening to a song, right, that is hearing, that you're going to imagine different things. Do you see? So don't worry about if you can visualize or not. That's not the key component here, because your mind, you will visualize it. It will come to you. And also, initially, when you first start declaring or scripting or whatever about what you want, it's going to feel like nothing's coming to you, right? But it will. That's what the persistence is, because the more that you persist, the thoughts automatically, the feelings, and you beliefs are automatically going to start coming to you, because remember, as a physical being, you're just selecting what you want, and then the rest is being done for you, including the new thoughts and the new feelings and the new beliefs that are built into this new reality, into the new state. So those will come with it. You don't have to worry and wonder why aren't the new thoughts coming, because now you're creating that reality of they're not coming. Do you see? Just live in the end, just affirm, and the new thoughts, new feelings, new beliefs will come to you so long as you remain faithful and loyal to your end desire. Okay, so, but I want to get back to releasing resistance, because many times we think that, you know, many teachers will say, you know, you can't do a specific person, you can't have a specific amount of money, you can't want specific money to come from a specific person, you can't want a specific thing, you can be very general, or you can say what you want, all the qualities that you want, but you should not, or you can't, or all of that is BS. Okay, all of that is not true. You can be specific as you freaking want to, all right? You can have what you want, you can have who you want, you can be specific. The thing that I believe is that a lot of these coaches are trying to steer you away from is having a death grip on it, and to have like too much emphasis, feeling of needing, and then it becomes desperate, and then it becomes like you become frustrated and you become angry, and you really want this thing, or you really want this person, and you really want that car or that job or whatever, and then it becomes like you are unhappy. Like you can't allow yourself to even be happy because you want that thing, and you know you can have whatever you want, and you don't get why it's not coming. And so I believe that a lot of teachers are just trying to help people release that resistance, that death grip of wanting it so badly, because they know my intention, and I'm going to believe and assume that they know that when you release the resistance is why not only does that come in, but it comes in even better, stronger, and even with more options. So, but you don't have to trick yourself into not wanting it. I don't want to imply that either, because that's BS. I'm not here trying to teach trickery or convince yourself or trick the subconscious mind in all with hacks and all these things, because you don't have to trick yourself, right? It's better for you to step deeper into your power of who you are, right? And to feel that authority and that conviction of the I am, versus to try to trick yourself and try to dupe yourself into thinking that something is yours, because then what are you going to do when you want something else? You're going to keep the trickery up. Do you see? You're going to have to come up with new tricks. You're going to have to watch more videos, read more books, and okay, now I got that, now I'm going to do this. How do I do this thing specifically? Do you see? So instead, stepping deeper into your awareness, raising your level of consciousness as who you are, that is really where all the magic happens. So with a client that I had, I'm going to use her as an example in a little bit, but the importance of releasing resistance is what I want to share with you guys. The importance of releasing resistance, okay, is also, like Vladimir Zeland says in Reality Transurfing, importance, like having too much importance on something, right? That it becomes too important, like that death grip, right? That releasing resistance, when you do, why it is so important, right, that you release resistance is because, one, you don't need it, all right? You don't, it's already, everything is ours. Okay, so you want to be in sync with the flow of life. I am source. So you want to be releasing resistance, right? Is like so many teachers, like Abraham Hicks says, if you hold the cork of the wine of a bottle, if you hold it down with your hand, it won't come up. But the moment that you let go, it floats up to the surface. So every teacher describes this very differently, but what you want is you want to be in sync or aligned with I am, with the flow of life, Louise Hayes used to say that, you know, that you want to, I'm allowing the flow of life to flow through me, right? In everything is like the ocean, waves, like your breath, like the wind in the trees, that everything flows back and forth, in and out. Abundance is in and it flows in, and you give it out to put it back for it to come back to you. Do you see? Everything is about feeling this flow energy. And if you feel restricted or resistance with no matter what it is that you desire, and you feel like you have to have it, or you feel like you're lacking it, or you feel like you're up against some, you know, issues in your life or conditions and they feel like impossible, right? This is not being in the flow. So releasing resistance isn't just about not wanting your thing and pretending you don't want it. And it's not about, you know, you have to let it go so it can come to you. No, it's about being in sync with the flow of life, being in sync with the I am, not just for the thing that you desire, but for all things. You want to live a life of flow, because that is what is running through you right now, through every cell in your body, through your blood, through your everything in your life, everything around us. The flow of life is constantly just, it's in abundance around you and in you. So that is what releasing resistance, or in taking importance, or other coaches say knocking something off the pedestal, right? It's not about that. It's about syncing with the flow of who you are, that powerful I am, and feeling, so you're including yourself with the flow, with that energy of the I am. You're including yourself to go with that flow, instead of you fighting it and demanding that you get this specific thing, demanding that you have to have it your way, demanding. No, you don't have to demand. In fact, there's a difference between aggressiveness, like demanding that you have it. You don't have to do that. And asserting yourself in the flow, asserting yourself in occupying the state of what you desire. It's a whole different energy there. Do you see that? So one of the ways that I worked with my clients and I know that you guys have heard this before, that you want to look at your options, right? That we have limitless amount of options, states, realities, or versions. There's an unlimited amount of versions, realities, states, timelines, all of these different metaphors that are used by different teachers, right? And I want to say something about that, because I was talking to my friend Elizabeth from Your Higher Self, and we were talking about how I read so many different metaphysical books. She reads so many metaphysical books, and when we talk all the time and about the different themes, and I've listened to other coaches, you know, quote many metaphysical authors, including the Bible, because the Bible is another metaphysical book, right? And it's funny, because I said I can read and read and read and read and read so many authors, but guess what? I was telling her, I said, they're all saying the same thing. I said, so even if I sit here and write a book, which I am, right, but I'm going to be talking about the same exact truth that the Bible says, that Eckhart Tolle says, that Course in Miracles says, that Reality Transurfing says, that all of these books, whether they're written in a fiction format or nonfiction format, they're all pointing to the same truth, which is the best thing, the best news to hear. That these teachers are just using their own personal words, their personality, the uniqueness of their personality, to describe and share the one truth. So there is not a multiple amount of truths out there. There is one truth. I am the cause. I am the source of it all. Everything comes through me. That is the truth, that you are the I am, period. And everything else is our interpretations, layers, methods, ways of singing it, writing about it, making movies about it. All of these different ways are just different ways, different modalities of delivering the one truth. So if you hear repetition from different authors and they overlap, or different coaches and they overlap. That is why, because there's not multiple truths. There's only one truth, and that is the I am, the cause of it all. You are the I am. We are individualized aspects of that great I am, and we have the omnipotent power in us creating whatever it is that we want to. So I just wanted to say that because I think it's important, for all of us to realize that there's only one truth here, and that all these authors and all these teachers, we're all talking about it in our unique personality perspective. And if you hear something or someone say anything else other than you are the cause of it all and that there are no rules, right, then you know that's your cue to dip out from listening to that person or reading that book or watching that movie or listening to that song, right? That's your cue to dip out if you don't agree with it. And you can dip out mentally, or you can physically turn it off or switch or walk away or whatever, but in love, because you know your truth, and you will automatically feel that it's restrictive. If you hear something that you disagree with, your inner being, your higher self, is going to guide you personally, and you're going to feel restriction or sad or fear. None of that is love, because the I am is pure love. So if you feel any restriction ever, any limitation, that's your cue to dip out. All right, so options, states, realities, versions, right? Why? Why do we need to focus on all the options, states, and versions of everything? Because it's to increase the flow of energy. So I'm going to talk about my client. So this client is an SP client, and she has a specific person that she desires to be with, right? But when she came to me, she had come to me and she had worked with multiple other coaches that told her to do different affirming, scripting, different things. And she came to me exhausted and drained and very unhappy, and just feeling frustrated and feeling like at her wit's end, right? She's like, if I can have whatever I want, then why isn't any of this has worked for me? And when she came, she was just not even smiling. And she told me that she hadn't felt any joy for a very long time. So I've worked with her. We've worked together already for a couple months, and she's one of my 90-day clients, and so we talk quite a bit throughout the day and throughout the week, in addition to seeing her weekly. So we're always communicating, and I'm always sending her things, reminders, and she's asking me questions. So it's really nice because it's just somebody that she can go to all the time without having to worry about how often or making appointments constantly. But anyway, so this SP client, okay, so she really wants to be with this person. She's tried so many different things. She came unhappy. So as I began to work with her, right, first within and focusing on her feeling joy within, check, right? Now every time I see her, just big old smile. The smile is bigger than her head. And I think I might have mentioned her in another video that she just decided to take on an affirmation that I use for myself is, I love the way that I feel. And she said she's just never felt happier and better in a very long time. She said she had not felt that much joy in over a year, and that she just felt so good. So continuing on working with her, right, I also asked her, I said, why don't you expand, because I love this, definition of faith that I read about, that faith is not only giving consent and saying yes, but it's also saying to yourself, how far can I see? And I've mentioned this in other videos, that you're asking yourself, like, what are my other options here? Why am I just so fixated? Okay, here's your manifestation, right? This is the SP for her, for example. It's like, why am I so fixated on just this version that I've known, that I know, that I see, because this person works in the same building with her, right? And she's like, why am I fixated on just this? So just yesterday, I asked her to start looking at other options, and not because she can't get what she wants. That's not it. Not because I'm trying to trick her to release resistance so she gets what she wants. That's not it either. That's a very disempowering, victimizing thing to even think, okay? So I don't have to think that. I am God. I don't have to trick myself. Everything is mine. Do you see? That's a big difference. So not only did I ask her, you know, to accept the current version of him that she's seen and accept where she is at, and also it's self-acceptance of what she has, who she has, where she lives. All of that is self-acceptance of how things are. It's not about, oh, I got to start walking around saying I accept myself, I accept myself. No, that's not it. Those are just mumbling words, right? It's about accepting where you are is perfect, accepting what you have is perfect, accepting who you are is perfect, accepting the conditions are perfect, accepting her SP, what he's doing is perfect. It doesn't mean you like it. It's accepting that it's perfect. That's acceptance, okay? Acceptance, because God is perfect. Everything is perfect. And then from there, I asked her, I said, well, we have to accept all the options here, right? The version of him that is going to be single, living with some cat by himself on an island. The version of him that is married to some other girl, right? The version of him that is moved away. There's so many versions of him, right? And they don't have to feel good, right? But you can imagine, like, the versions that you're seeing right now, you just have to accept them. You don't have to add, right? But there's a lot of versions, all right? But there's also a lot of versions of her, right? And that's what I told her. There's a version of you that is a billionaire on the cover of Forbes magazine. There's a version of you that owns 10 mansions, right? There's a version of you that, you know, that does so many different things. There's a version of you that doesn't want to be with anyone, that wants to be single for the rest of her life and just date whoever she wants to. There's a version of you that met somebody that is not only as cute and hot as what you think is your SP right now, but he's cuter and hotter and sexier, and he's financially wealthy, and he's so into her he can't even think about not being with her. He wants no one else but her, and he spoils her, and he adores her, and he wants to marry her the minute he met her. There's a version of that. There's a version of her that's dating 5 guys at the same time. There's a version of her that gets everything she wants at a snap of a finger. Do you see? So this is what I played around with her, okay? And even I brought it even into this morning, because I thought of some other things that I wanted her to consider. So I messaged her some more ideas this morning when I woke up. And it's funny, because after I messaged her, she responded and said, she said, it's funny, I did what we did, you know, practice in session last night, and this morning, she said, I was thinking about an ex-boyfriend, and she says, and all of a sudden I'm messaging, she says, we're having a conversation through Messenger right now. So she opened up, right? So instead of just seeing this one option, right, which is fine, you can have whatever the heck you want, right? She began to see all of these options and more. And she's like, I don't only have one option. I have this option, I have this option. And not all of them are preferred options, like they're undesirable options that she doesn't want. But some of them are options that would be cool, right? That she hasn't even thought of. So expanding, how far can you see? Okay, this is where that question's coming. How far can you see? So she started looking at that, and then immediately she started having a conversation with another ex-boyfriend that popped up, and they're having conversations now. And then she's asking me, she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, now I'm not sure. Is it okay if I go back and forth and I'm not clear on who I want? And I said, absolutely. And I said, and who's to say that a third one's not going to come in, that it's going to blow both of these out of the water? I'm like, keep your options open does not mean you don't get what you want. You get whatever you want. But when you become aware of other options, you're like, you like or don't prefer, right? So you become aware of other options that you like and don't prefer, right? Versions of SP or versions of you financially that you don't prefer. You have to accept that those are viable options, but so are other options that you haven't even been considered because you've been so hyper focused on this. So when you expand your awareness, how far can I see, right? You start looking at other options that you're just like, what, wait, hold the phone. I can have that. I can have that better version of the thing or the person, or I can have another person, or I can have 3 persons. Wait, hold the phone here. Now you start kind of fluffing up your feathers like a little peacock. And I was joking around with her, like there's this guy on TikTok that no matter where he goes, if someone films him, and doesn't matter what he's wearing, no, he's filming himself or someone's filming him walking, like he walks around the city or the grocery store or wherever he goes as he's walking down a runway, right? And with just like straight walk, assertive, confident, and doesn't matter. And wherever he goes, people just turn around and look at him like, who is this person, right? It's like, oh, wow. It's like the confidence exudes from him when he walks. It doesn't matter if he's on the sidewalk or in the grocery store or wherever he goes. I don't know what the name of the guy is, but I think it's so funny. And I was telling her, I said, that's how you walk in the 3D, because you know that you can get whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. So you walk confidently on your runway. And from there, now you've looked and explored all your options. Now you'll feel a shift. You're just like, hold the phone here. And then now from that perspective of remembering that who you are, that you are all these options, right? Now you choose. From there, you choose. And if it's that SP, then you choose that. If it's the money, you choose that. If it's that specific house, you choose that. Do you see? But now you're going to do it from a place of being in the sync and the flow of life. Now you've just like let the cork float up to the top. Now you've released the resistance that it has to be that thing or you'll just die, right? Or that you'll just be miserable. You don't have to have a death grip on your desire because it's already yours. And you allowing yourself to see, give yourself the luxury, right? I suggest for you guys to do this. Give yourself the luxury of looking at all options, of other options, not because you can't have what you want, but grade it up, level it up. And now this client, she's like so happy and excited and she's giggly. And because she's seen how powerful she is, that she can choose and have whatever the heck she wants, that she was just kind of limiting herself and not allowing herself to see all the other potentials that she has ability to do. And from there, you and she, we, all of us can choose whatever we want. And then we persist in that, knowing that it's ours, knowing that, yeah, I could have, there's an unwanted version of this or an unwanted version of me, but there's also all these wanted versions of me too. And now what you have chosen is your clear answer. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I intend that it was very helpful for you. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to The Rosey Life. And thank you for being here. And thank you. I love you guys, and I'll see you really soon. You're friggin' amazing. Bye.